Full alert. Okay, cool. So I am going to talk to you guys today about Joe. What Joe is an abbreviation for JavaScript and everything. So I've pretty much throughout my career working for V, and everyone found out that, well, you can pretty much do anything with JavaScript. This is kind of insane. And over the last 2 weeks, I entered 2 hackathons back to back and pretty much found out the power behind JavaScript and the platform that I've just built. So I'm going to introduce it to you as JavaScript on everything. So what I've found out today is like people are really thirsty for innovative technologies. So things like IoT, blockchain, and there's a huge barrier of entry to it. So you have to learn how to use C, you have to know all these back-end languages and all these really low-level machine code. And then I found out JavaScript can do all of this with little to none, like little to no lines of code. You can pretty much, I think this entire project, I wrote something around 100 to 200 lines of code to get it all up and running and connected. So it's really cool. And I'm not a big believer in stagnant communities because of selfish reasons. So I'm going to open source it to the entire community so everyone could use it. And I want to make it as easy as possible for anyone to pick up. So I want to make it as easy as pretty much you download the package, npm install, npm run Joe, and it starts up a React Native instance of a mobile application. And then it runs a web application, also a desktop application using Electron. And those 3 clients are all using React. And then using Johnny 5, which is the IoT and robotics JavaScript library to program Arduino and IoT devices. And the glue to hold it all together is actually REST APIs and your WebSockets, and also thanks V for all these shameless Bitcoin plugs, Ethereum and Bitcoin. Currently just supporting Ethereum through its Web3.js API. And why blockchain? Obviously, because it's an emerging technologies platform, and it allows really cool things, I think futuristic things. It decentralizes everything from trusted central authorities like banks. I say trusted because who really trusts banks, right? And then you can transact value directly to your end users. So you don't have to go through a bank, and this, with the help of IoT, this gets money and value to really remote locations without having to say why you want to support this cause, which could be good, could be bad, I don't know. And through the ability of smart contracts, you can now automate these whole processes. So now that you can send money, once that money has it's into your system, then your system can then talk to another system, get another system to then react on it. It just creates this nexus of events that automates entire business processes, which is really good for things like supply chains and et cetera, et cetera. All right, so we're on to demo time. And let me see where I put all of this stuff. Am I breathing? Like, can you hear me breathing? Okay, here we go. Oh, this was actually, I gotta get everything up and running. I haven't even plugged my Arduino in. There she is. But this is actually good because I'll show you how easy it is to set up. Yeah, please, thanks. There she is. Cool. This could fail really badly. Let's see how we go.
Succeed really well.
Interesting. Oh, that's it. There we go. Cool. I think that should be it. Hey. Boom. Alrighty. So we're up and running. is creating my little home automation tripwire sensor here, and I'm gonna show you guys photo booth. Okay, cool. And kind of point that down. You can tell I didn't really think this through. Yeah, thanks. Alrighty. All right. This is, yeah, no. So what you can see here is there's a laser pointing towards a light sensor. And what this is simulating is a tripwire. And you can see our like really advanced home security system on our React Native instance. And what happens pretty much is when you trip this wire, you can see that there's, it alerts you, oh, there's an intruder. So it's like, oh, who's kind of snooping around in my house? Like, what's going on here? So you can see, oh, there she is. It's a friggin', it's a cat. No harm. But this is all really good, right? When you have electricity in your house, and then Energy Corp comes along and they're like, oh, this guy hasn't paid the electricity bill. Goodbye. So you're like, oh shit, I just lost all my electricity. What am I gonna do? Well, thanks to emerging technologies, you can go to the control panel of your house and pay your bill with Bitcoin. So what I'm actually gonna do here is simulate a testnet, which is like a private instance of the blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain running on my laptop. And if I've unlocked my account, this will go through. But what essentially this will do is automate a process. So Matt over there is laughing because we almost didn't succeed because we forgot to unlock the account. We came second in the blockchain hackathon over the weekend, so it was really interesting. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pay my bill with Bitcoin, and then it's going to just turn on my electricity, which is the simulation of the automated process after transfer of value. Here we go. Da, da, da. Okay, I knew it. Oh, there we go. Hey! Bitcoin transaction. Alrighty, I think that ends it for the demo, which thank God went well. Back to our presentation. I think I have now realized that this is no longer a lightning talk. So what I essentially want to do, as I said, I want to open source this technology, and I want as much people to get it up and running as possible, and I want multiple instances to spin up all over the web, and we want to create a way for this to be possible and pretty much interconnect all of our nodes and have some sort of value being transacted across the geo. We still are developing ideas around this. So as I said, it started last weekend, so it's been a little crazy. And this is the team around it. I met Matt moments into starting the blockathon, and I met Sean because we had 2 members and we needed 3 to actually enter into the competition. But it turns out he added so much value to us. And then along the way, this guy was helping me out. I looked at this guy and I'm like, okay, which wire do I cut? And, and which one do I plug into the relay? And he helped me out along the way, and he asked me if he wanted to join. So this is the Joe team. And this is our roadmap. So pretty much I'm designating all of my time between now and January to February of next year to provide really good documentation around it and make it as easy for the next person who actually downloads the source code from my GitHub to pick it up and just start running with it. So that's pretty much going up until January 2018, which is when we're going to explore actually getting it on multiple nodes and releasing it hopefully at SID.js in February 2018, and then exploring everything else from there. That should just be like to infinity, not to March 2018. Yeah, so this is JavaScript and everything. If you're interested in contributing, it's going to be open source. If you want to be on board and kind of be an early contributor, let me know after. We can talk about it. I can give you the source code. And I just want us to all help build the community, spread the word, tell people about it, and tweet at us at Joe. We just created our Twitter account on Sunday. And yeah, this is something really awesome that happened right after I spoke at the talk at the blockchain hackathon. I got approached by this guy, and he said, I want to give you 10 ETH for this project. And I'm like, oh wait, you want to buy it? I don't know how to, I just walked off stage, everything's going crazy, so I don't know how to react to this. And then later he comes along, he said, no, I actually just want to donate you 10 ETH, which was an incredible concept in itself. And I'm now being funded through Ether, through a cryptocurrency, which is like another crazy concept in itself. So if you do want to follow the trend, start up your own Joe instance, or you can do it through web clients. Send some Ether over to our address there. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to me and hearing me ramble on. And unfortunately, it wasn't in Jamaican, but I hope this did well enough for you. Thanks a lot, guys.